Hello and welcome to my Ultimate Iron Man guide. Today I'll be showing you the ins and outs of Iron Man's abilities and going over all of his strengths and weaknesses. Whether you are new to Marvel Rivals or an experienced player, this tutorial is right for you. I'm going to help you skyrocket up the ranks. Now, Iron Man, or Tony Stark, is a DPS duelist who can fly and deal massive AoE damage. He can dominate any battle if you just learn how to use his abilities in the right way and learn when to engage and how to position yourself correctly, which I'm going to teach you in this video. So without further ado, let's get into his abilities, and after that we'll go in depth on how to use them and when to use them. PS, stick around because later in this video I'll be showing you an Iron Man skin that you can get completely for free. So first up of his abilities, we have his left click, the Repulsor Blast. This is a projectile with infinite range that deals 55 damage per shot. These projectiles do AoE damage, which means that they are great for clearing crowds of enemies and taking back the point/payload. This attack is going to do more damage if you do manage to land a direct hit on your target. However, you can also hit the ground next to your target in order to do damage. Next up is his right click, his Unibeam. This attack is a massive energy beam that shoots out of your chest, dealing massive damage to a single target. Now, Iron Man has a power-up ability, which I'll be going over later, which makes both his left and right click much more powerful. So unless you are using that ability, I would not recommend using his right click, as the damage output just is not high enough to kill someone before they can kill you. Now, this ability does have a limited range, unlike his left click, so do keep that in mind when using it. So next up, we have Iron Man's shift ability called Hyper Velocity, which makes you fly forward much faster than you normally would. This ability is where all of your agility comes from. Now, Iron Man by default is extremely slow, so this ability is what is going to allow you to get out of tough situations and help you get onto the point very quickly. Now, keep in mind with this ability, it has a resource meter that slowly charges as you play, which means that you can use it whenever you want, as long as you have that resource meter charged up. Moving on from that, we have Iron Man's E ability, Armor Overdrive. This is the ability I mentioned earlier, which makes you much more powerful. This ability makes both your left and right click much better. Your left click will have a bigger AoE and do massive amounts of damage, and your right click will now essentially delete anyone that you use it on. This ability is going to last for 10 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. And lastly, out of Iron Man's regular abilities, we have his F ability, which shoots a barrage of missiles. This ability can be used alongside either your shift, meaning when you are flying quickly, or when you use your E, aka when you are powered up. The cooldown for this ability is 10 seconds when you are using your shift. However, when you use your E, it is much lower with only a cooldown of 2 seconds. Now, finally, we have Iron Man's ultimate. This is what I would consider one of the best ultimates in the game for clearing an objective. Iron Man's ultimate is a pulse cannon which shoots a massive shot in front of you, which kills anyone it hits unless they have some kind of immortality ultimate active. So now let's get into how to use Iron Man effectively, starting with his strengths and weaknesses. First up, we have his strengths. Now, Iron Man excels at clearing objectives and wiping out large groups of enemies. If left unchecked, you could clear an entire team by using your E and blasting their team with your left click. Your left click has infinite range, as I mentioned earlier, so you can stay behind your team in a safe location and blast endlessly, as long as you have a clear line of sight. Another big thing to mention is that your right click, if you have your E active, then you can basically 1v1 any hero and come out on top. This is great in case you are being flanked or targeted in any way. Another use for this ability is taking out other flying characters. You will be able to evaporate them in seconds with your right click. And on the topic of flying, one of the biggest advantages that you have is being able to fly. This allows you to position yourself wherever you want. You are always going to have the high ground. Now, you're going to want to make use of this as much as possible. One important thing is that as Iron Man, you can attack the enemy from a different angle, meaning the enemy is going to be attacked from multiple angles. This is only possible due to your flying, and if they're getting attacked from multiple angles, it is going to make it absolutely impossible for them to defend themselves. So positioning with your flying is one of the key elements to playing Iron Man effectively. Now, you can put yourself into an amazing position for your ultimate, for example, which will allow you to get those extremely satisfying team wipes. So try to position yourself either above their team when using your ultimate, or try to catch them from behind, and that will let you get that 6-player killed wipe. But in order to take advantage of all his strengths, you are going to need to know how to counter his weaknesses. So let's get right into those. Firstly, Iron Man doesn't have that much health. He stands at 250 HP, and seeing as he's in the sky, he is a very easy target. This means that you need to make use of any cover that you can find. You do not want to be sat in the open because that is just not going to end well. As Iron Man, your abilities do also come at a cost, seeing as for most of them you do have a long cooldown where you cannot attack. For example, with your E, you do have to charge it up for a couple seconds when activating it. So in this time period, you are going to be unable to attack in any way, shape or form. So when you use your E, you want to be behind cover, and the same thing is going to go for when it deactivates. So you're going to want to keep track of the timer, the 10-second timer that it is active, so that you are in cover when you activate it, and you want to be in cover for when it deactivates. This also goes for your ultimate. When you initially activate your ultimate, you are going to be extremely vulnerable, so do make sure that you are on full HP or that you are hidden when activating this ability. Now, when it comes to healing, it is extremely difficult for healers to find you and heal you, so I want you to learn the map in and out and find where the heal points can be found. Using your shift to be able to fly to these when you are on low health will be a lifesaver for you. Now, when it comes to your counters, your big ones are going to be Hela, Spider-Man, Iron Fist, and Wanda. These characters will easily be able to rinse you. So when it comes to Hela, you want to keep your distance. You only want to peek her for a short amount of time, making use of your E to power up and then killing her with your left click. If you do this, you will easily be able to kill Hela. As for Iron Fist, you want to make use of your E and you're going to want to use your right click because Iron Fist is going to be right up in your face. However, if you do use that right click, you will easily be able to kill him. And lastly, your two biggest counters are Spider-Man and Wanda. These are hard counters. So if the enemy is using these characters, then your best bet is to take advantage of your teammates. Keep them close so that in case you do get attacked, they can help you. If you are attacked, once again, same thing as Iron Fist, your best bet is to use your E and your right click. Now, finally, when it comes to engaging, you now have a wide understanding of Iron Man's weaknesses and his strength, so do always keep these in mind. You are going to want to stay in the backline, making use of your infinite range, which we discussed earlier. Choose your fight wisely, meaning don't 1v1 a duelist or a tank in a close range situation. Keep your distance, make advantage of the strengths that you do have. You want to work alongside your team. You have a massive amount of damage output, so I want you to stick to the objective and help with your AoE, and always be aware of who you are up against so that you can prepare for your counters and so that you are always ready in case a duelist is going to come after you. Now, by following all of this advice, I can guarantee no matter where you are in the game, you will be going up the ranks. Now, earlier I did promise you a free skin, so let's get onto that. So you want to head in game, you want to open your settings, you're going to click on bundle code and copy and paste the code currently on screen. This code can also be found in the description, so you go into the description, copy and paste it, and then put it in. This is going to get you the Iron Man Model 42 skin. So that is all for me. I hope you enjoyed this guide. If you did, please do remember to like and subscribe. It helps out the channel massively. On screen there is a playlist which will take you to the other guides I have made. If your favorite hero doesn't happen to be on there, then please do comment and tell me what hero I should make a guide for next. So with that said, thank you for watching and have a good one. Goodbye.